This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com. Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry, Lutz. Today is 11/19/2020, show number 163. Well, Nick, we got our unemployment numbers.
Yeah, we got the weekly initial claims report out today, and that report showed that there were 724,000 new claims. That's a slight uptick from last week's 711,000 claims. So that number did not improve, but it really wasn't off very much from last week. The weekly continuing claims report was also released, and that came in at 6.372 million. The prior revised number was 6.801 million. So that's a little bit better. So a little bit of a mixed message there, but basically somewhat in line with what we expected.
Yeah, well, it's a slow, steady slog. As long as a big portion of the country remains shut down, this is what we're going to see.
That's right. And now, we have more lockdowns taking place around the country. And even New York City yesterday announced they're going to shut down the schools for a week or so. And again, all of this has a ripple effect. And again, we'll see what these claims come out next week. That'll be interesting.
Okay, well, one thing about when closing New York City's public schools, that's probably a good thing because there's not much learning that goes on there anyway. It's just a big money pit. And it's just become like this sacred, more money for education, even though the money's getting tossed in the garbage and nobody's learning anything.
Well, we'll leave that up to the politicians. They seem to have done a terrific job in New York and New York State, so New York City and New York State. So we'll see how that goes. But again, my feelings over there are that it's been totally mishandled since the virus was started, and I believe that's still the case.
Yep, I am with you on that one, my friend. So, hey, what's the market doing today? What's the opening like?
Yeah, we got a little bit of a weaker open. The Dow's down about 128 points this morning. That's a decline of around 0.4%. The Russell 2000 is down about 0.2%. The S&P is down about 0.3%. And then you have the Nasdaq Composite just down a little over 0.1%. So a little bit of a down open. Looks like most equities are a little bit on the weaker side for the most part. Financials, JP Morgan in particular, down $1.23 to start the morning. So we'll see where we go. It's not how they open, it's how they close. Remember, tomorrow is going to be options expiration for the month of November. So we had the big up Monday, and then what do you get the rest of the week? A lot of backing and filling, and that seems to be the theme these days.
Yeah, and the games that the big boys play to basically separate the little people from their money, that's kind of their thing.
Yeah, every month during options expiration, if there has been a stock that a lot of people have gotten into because they think it's going to go a lot higher, the institutions will pull it back especially if they had the near-term option that will expire tomorrow. So we call it pin the tail on a donkey. The institutions do it every month. And again, no real surprises out here this week.
Yeah, I just find it so fascinating the way that Tesla just happened to be admitted to the S&P 500 on the week of options expiration.
Well, by now you shouldn't be surprised at that announcement, which came. The stock soared and has really rallied pretty nicely. Got up to 5 surprises out there. That really was a big positive for the stock that it didn't go in because many people were waiting for it. They do these announcements. This is when you get lots of ridiculous upgrades and downgrades this week. You'll also hear a lot of takeover rumors going on this week. It's just a week that's notoriously spun out of control when it comes to just ridiculous news.
Yeah, well, we've seen a lot of ridiculous news. They're also slamming, right? They're also slamming precious metals today, right?
Yeah, you got gold down a bit today. So when you look at gold futures down about 17 points at the moment. You have silver down about 55 cents. That's a pretty good hit because that's about 2.25%. So yeah, precious metals are getting hit a little bit, but I'm not surprised at that movement right now. We've been talking about how you get a lot of backing and filling going on in gold, and it needs to build up a bigger pattern. But no shocker. Gold, we'll see where it finishes by the end of the day. I don't think this is that big a deal.
Not a big deal. So what do we got to look forward to for the holiday week ahead of us? Because generally that's a low trading volume, which means really subject to manipulation.
Yeah, well, what I like to normally say is when you get into the holiday periods, generally that favors upside. Now, I don't know if that'll be the case, historically speaking, when you have the up volume usually creates a buoyant upside market. But the last, we'll see how it plays out this year. You never know what, as far as the virus and the shutdowns and all of these different things that go on. I believe it's all political, in my opinion, but you just never know. So we'll have to sit and wait and see. And light volume is what normally we're going to get next week. Remember, the market will be closed on Thursday for Thanksgiving, and then the following Friday, traders take a holiday. A lot of traders go away, and we'll see. Normally, it's a light volume time period, and it usually means markets will float higher.
All right. Well, I think we're going to leave it at that. In all likelihood, no show tomorrow. I'm going to be on the road going up family up north. But we will pick up again on Monday, and if it's something major, I'll make time out of the day to connect with you, and then we'll do a very abbreviated show. But barring that, we'll just kind of leave it, and that's it. So make sure you go over to Nick's site, inthemoneystocks.com, to get a better understanding of what the market's doing now and where it's heading towards. As you say, Nick, charts are all about the future. Fundamentals are all about the past. You kind of have to balance them sometimes, but hey, there's a lot of crazy stuff ahead that you need to be ready for.
You really do. I always tell everybody, let the chart, let the money flow tell you. That's the old saying out there, follow the money.
Follow the money, and we'll leave it at that. So inthemoneystocks.com, that's must reading now. Subscribe to it. Can't urge you enough. There's so much information that you need to know. You're just not going to find it elsewhere. Don't forget the Twitter feeds at ITMS, at Nick Santiago01, at Kerry Lutz, and email us with your questions, comments, feedback, kl@kerrylutz.com. Nick, we'll talk to you next week. Have a great weekend.
You too, Kerry.
And so concludes another episode of Daily Market Wisdom with Master Trader Nick Santiago. Be sure to go to his website, inthemoneystocks.com. Don't forget the Twitter feeds at ITMS and at Nick Santiago01.